Hello everyone, casual boxing fan here. I'm just going to make a video talking about Inoue and basically his recent achievements and just, is he overrated, like many people I've seen say, or is he deserving of his pound for pound status? Obviously not pound for pound number one, but just being in the discussion for being in the top 10 pound for pound fighters alive today. In my opinion, a man that's a freeweight world champion, that's beaten the names he's beaten and shown the skills he's shown, is definitely a top 10 pound for pound fighter. If you look at what he's done, not many fighters can claim to have done it. There's a few excuses out there, so I'm just going to go through them now. Number one excuse I hear quite a lot is only 3 pounds between the weight divisions. However, in Inoue's case, he would win his first world title against Adrian Hernandez at 108 pounds WBC title. Then he would skip flyweight and go straight to super flyweight, which was 115 pounds, and fight Omar Narvaez for the WBO super flyweight title. So there is a 7 pound jump. So we didn't jump up 3 pounds, jumped 7 pounds. And then he would go up, as we know now, to 118 pounds, which is just a 3 pound jump. So in total he's done 10 pounds. But the issue what fans I don't think understand is that those smaller weights, 1 pound is a lot, 2 pounds is a lot. And we saw that with Roman Gonzalez when he took on names such as Carlos Cuadras, when he took on Sir Rungvisai. You know, those guys were able to muscle him out and be strong with him, and his shots weren't as powerful. At those smaller weights, you know, a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, that's a lot. You know, if it wasn't, why would fighters literally melt themselves down to get there if it didn't give them an advantage? So whether Inoue is going up 3 pounds or 4 pounds or 6 pounds, it doesn't matter. He's a freeweight world champion, and he's done it by beating some very good fighters. You know, the second excuse I hear is he's not beat anyone. Again, that's not true. He beat Ryuichi Tesagotchi. I can't really pronounce his name, but he's the guy that we saw fight recently. Not recently. He was the guy we recently fight Kosei Tatanka at flyweight. So, you know, he's a good fighter. He's very capable. And that was one of the first fights I knew he had coming up. Like, I think it was like his 5th fight or something like that. Very early on he had that fight. Very tough fight. I remember that fight, and that's a good win. That was, especially that early on in your career. And then, you know, you'd fight Adrian Hernandez for the WBC title at like flyweight. Adrian Hernandez was no bum. He wasn't the greatest fighter, but he wasn't a bum. He wasn't a bad fighter. He made at least 4 or 5 defenses of that title and was very capable. And what happened? Inoue beat him. Inoue stopped him in the 6th round. You know, stopped him with, I think it was a short right hand. Caught him on the inside. And then we go up, and he goes up to 115 pounds. And he beat Omar Narvaez. Or Narvaez. Sorry, I just can't pronounce that properly. But you know who I'm talking about. The man that fought Zolani Tete and went 12 rounds with him in a very dull fight. The man that went 12 rounds with Nonito Donaire. And Inoue stopped him in 2 rounds. Dominated him. Completely dismantled him. Omar Narvaez isn't a bum. He's no slouch. He's a very good fighter. A very good rhythm fighter. You don't have fighters like that no more. He's a very old school rhythm fighter. Starts off very slow. Looks to neutralize your offense and then build up his offense in the later rounds. He got dominated. Stopped by a left hook to the body in the 2nd round. Was dropped several times in the fight. You know, along the way, he's also fought names like David Cameroni. He was always a tough, durable guy. Obviously, that went 12. The only time that Inoue's actually gone the full distance is when he fought Ryo Taguchi and he fought David Cameroni. Both went 12 and 10. Those were tough fights. And then when we moved up to 118 pounds, the biggest wins for Inoue have come. Stopping Jamie McDonald in a round. Stopping Carlos Piano in a round. And then stopping Emmanuel Rodriguez in 2 rounds. Now, that's a good resume to me. There's 6 names on that resume that I can say are good fighters, solid fighters. And if you don't think they're good, it's because you don't watch boxing. It's because you like to watch highlights on YouTube, or you like to listen to YouTubers, you like to listen to Max Kellerman or Larry Merchant or Jim Gray or someone out here that think they know boxing but they don't know shit. That's why you don't think they're good. Or if you think they're bums, that's because you're an absolute clown and you don't know jack shit. And if you've never heard of them, then I understand. Because if you just say, I've not heard of them, then I understand where you're coming from, because the lighter weight classes are not that popular. You know, when a lot of boxing fans are casuals, there's nothing wrong with being a casual fan. There's a problem with being an uneducated fan that thinks he knows what he's talking about, going around calling everyone bums and going around talking like he knows what he's talking about, when the only thing he really knows is how to suck the bull sweat of a fighter like Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder or Errol Spence, or just the top fighters. You know, that's all they are, just sheep fans, I like to call them. Just sheep fans, just follow the herd. You know, but there's a lot of people that don't know these guys. But you can't if you don't know them, doesn't mean you have to discredit the fighter. And I'm not saying that every fighter that wins 4 world titles or 6 world titles is great. But what I'm trying to say is the opposition that Inoue has been solid. It has been good. There's a good foundation for why it's been good. You know, and there's good fighters he's beat. And the third excuse I hear, now let's move on to, is that Inoue is just a power puncher. Now this is absolute bollocks. Inoue is much more than a blown up power puncher. Inoue has immense skill, immense talent, and will no doubt go down as one of the greatest Japanese fighters we've ever seen. And that's a huge statement. That's a huge statement. And I'll be rightly criticised for saying something like that, especially this early on in his career, only had 18 fights. But I genuinely believe it. From what he's shown me, his technical ability is outstanding. His offensive ability is outstanding. His defensive ability, not so much. He can get caught. He can get drawn into slugfests. But let me just give you some examples of what I'm talking about. So let's start off at his first real challenge, Richard Taguchi. That was his first real test as a pro. It was a tough fight. If you watch the fight, it was very tough. But what you started to see was some early signs of his success. The left hook. You saw how he's able to land that left hook, how he's able to land the left uppercut, how he's able to change it, how the variety of his offense is there. And then since then, he's just got better and better. His best punch is his left hook. That is Inoue's best punch. You know, he's very good with that lead hand. That lead hand is very effective. Very good at touching you with it. Very good at using it to jab. And he's a very good counter puncher. I never really hear anyone talk about how good of a counter puncher Inoue is. But he's a very good counter puncher. He really draws you onto that left hook and catches you clean with it. And that's how we obviously got Rodriguez. You know, he counter punched Rodriguez, who was coming in. He got the left hook on Jamie McDonald and then hit him to the body. Against Carlos Piano, it was a textbook 1-2, but how did he set up that 1-2 against Piano? Using his lead hand, touching the lead hand of Piano, touching it, then slipping under. Those are textbook skills in boxing. How did he stop Omar Navarez getting left hook to the body? How? Using that jabbing, stepping in, doubling the left hook to the body, doubling it to the head. How did he stop Adrian Hernandez? Short right hand on the inside, left hook to the body, then he came up with a short right hand. You know, that's the thing that you've got to give him credit for, is that he attacks the body to open up the head, and he attacks the head to open up the body. He's very good at switching the attack from the body to head. Very good at switching the attack. He's very good at drawing you onto his punches. You know, he's very good at making you overextend, making you reach, keeping that jab in your face, keeping that lead hand in your face. You know, make you step in more than you have to step in, so he can land that counter hook as he steps back. You like to just take a little step back, land that counter hook, check hook. You like to call it check hook. Very good catch and shoot with that hook as well. Very effective punch, that left hook. You know, very much like Donaire. Drawing you onto that left hook. You know, slipping the punch, getting that left hook in. You know, I know he's got some slickness to him. Don't get me wrong, he can move his head in every now and again. But one thing I would say about him is he's very upright. He can get hit over the top quite easily. That's one negative. Another negative is he seems to drop his hands. His guard's not the tightest. Punches can get through, they can get around. You know, another issue is sometimes he gets drawn into a slugfest. He's not the greatest inside fighter. He's solid, but he's not the greatest. He does get hit quite a lot on the inside. It is more of a you go, I go thing with Inoue on the inside. We saw that against Taguchi. We saw that against Adrian Hernandez. Saw that a bit in the Rodriguez fight. On the inside, he can get hit. We saw that in the Rodriguez fight, that over-the-top shots do land quite regularly against him as well. Especially we saw him try to use his jab to circle away. He got hit over the top. And that's something that you'll see quite a lot of Inoue, is when he tries to circle, he can get hit over the top with the right hand. Adrian Hernandez had some success with that as well in his first world title bid. So there's defensive flaws in Inoue. That's his weakest spot, is his defense. You know, he can go straight back. He can lean back. You know, so his height, even though he's been shorter than some of the fighters, he's voiced at 118 pounds, like Jamie McDonald. He still does fight like quite a tall man, which is standing upright, using that jab, using that 1-2, being quite upright. So he can get caught over the top. You know, he does feint quite well. I like to see him use a little bit more feints, but he does feint quite well. So there's a lot of skill to him. There's a lot of things he does well. There's a lot of things he does great. He's explosive. He's quick. His variety in offense is amazing. One of the best offensive fighters we've got. Great variety from body to head. Left hooks, body, head. Straight right, short rights. Very, very, very dynamic. Dynamic offense player. Defensively, he's lackluster. But he's a top pound for pound fighter. Because he has a good resume. He has 3 world titles. And the skills he has would make him successful at 122 pounds. In my opinion, he can pick up a 4th, I believe, personally. I believe he can pick up a 4th. Will he be able to pick up a 5th at 126? I don't know. I think that may be a step too far, but I feel that if he wins this, makes a few defenses, 122 won't be far away, in my opinion. Who would I like to see him against? Well, I would love to see him against Zolani Tete. Because I think Zolani Tete is a tough fight, because Inoue can reach. He can get a bit too excited, lunge in, overreach, overstretch, and he can lean back and pull back straight. So someone who's long like Tete, who's a long boxer, could have some success against him. And we also know that it's going to be harder for Inoue to land his counter shots against Tete, who's not going to throw unless he has to throw. Another name that I would put out there is Luis Neri. Obviously, a lot of controversy around here. I don't know if he's really well liked in Japan after we did to Shinsuke Yamanaka. But we can't deny he's quick, he's strong, he's powerful. And when you have all them put together, you know, he could maybe do something to Inoue. He would probably be the strongest at 118 pounds now. You said the power and the speed. He's up there for Inoue in them regards. So I'd like to see that fight. Will it get made? I'm not too sure. I doubt Inoue will go down that road, but maybe. As far as the Donaire fight, which we know is next, I favour Inoue. I think he's going to be a big favourite. Can Donaire spring the upset? Of course, Donaire's a legend. But I just feel that at this age now, his style's kind of changed. We see him applying more pressure. And I feel like if he's just going to try and walk down Inoue, he's going to walk into sunk. You know? Don't get me wrong. Maybe he can catch it, because Inoue does lean back, Inoue does lunge in. Maybe he can catch him with that left hook that he has. But then again, maybe he won't. Maybe Inoue will just be too smart for him and too strong for him and too young. I see it maybe going the way the Nicholas Waters fight went. Then they're having some success, but ultimately getting stopped as the fight goes on. But anyway, thanks for listening, man. I just want to make a short video just talking about Inoue and just talking about how good of a fighter he is and how good of a talent he is and how we should really enjoy it instead of criticising and trying to take away from his achievements. You know, for me, he's a top 5 pound for pound fighter. I really think he's that good. You know, especially becoming freeweight world champion 18 fights. Well, he didn't come in 18 fights. He came in 16 fights. That's impressive. And we should be applauding young fighters like that, because Inoue had an amateur background, but it wasn't huge. I think he went to the World Championships, and I think that's it. I don't think he was an Olympian or anything like that. I don't know if he medaled at the World Championships, if I'm being honest. So we should really give credence to these young guys that are taking up the mantle, taking up the challenge, and not waiting for them to get a title shot 20 fights or 30 fights down the line. They're taking on tough competition early on and taking it on now. You know, when he became a world champion in his 8th fight, you've got to respect that. So yeah, he's a talent. He's a pound for pound fighter. And he has the skills to back it up. So that's my take on it. Thank you very much for listening.